All right, so it goes without saying, knocking off Glenorchy down here after earlier in the season going defensively, you must be stoked with that result.
Yeah, it's a big turnaround. They beat us by a fair margin in the second game we played them. And I've just said to you before, our conversion rate in the third quarter certainly made a difference compared to last week.
What do you think, apart from just the conversion, do you think there was a different attitude heading into today's game, or do you think it's just the result of things we've been working on the last couple of weeks?
I thought our attitude was really good. It's been pretty good the last couple of weeks, but I think we haven't been able to sustain the pressure for the whole 4 quarters, and that's probably the first time today that we've been able to sustain it for a whole game, and it showed.
Looked like there were parts of the game today where the team seemed really happy to take risks and play that sort of aggressive style that we've come known with Lauderdale over the years. Is that something that's also been worked on after perhaps not being quite like that in the first couple of rounds?
Yeah, I think when you lose a few games, guys' confidence drops and they're a little bit hesitant taking some of the kicks that they would normally take when you're up and about. And we've pretty much given them a licence to take the game on again, be a bit more aggressive. And Glenorchy likes to set a few guys up behind the ball. We said if we keep doing that, it was going to play into their hands. And there was a period there in the second quarter where we kept bombing it long, and they had countless inside 50s. Once we started to shift their defence around, we were able to open them up.
So early in the last quarter, you knew Glenorchy were going to come back to start with. You must have been really pleased with the way, I suppose, the team was able to rally, soak up a bit of pressure and then get back on the scoreboard and run away with it in the end?
Yeah, Glenorchy were really good early below their knees in around the contest. They were getting easy breaks from stoppages, and it was something we talked about at quarter time. And I think because we're able to get our tackles up, we doubled our tackles in the third quarter compared to the first half, and that started to show on them. I think they started to fumble a bit below their knees and make mistakes that they weren't making early, and we capitalised on that. And that's the important thing in footy. If you get opportunities, you have to take them. Today we took them. Last week we didn't.
Ryan Wiggins, I thought, showed some really good signs last week, and today just really put in a fantastic performance. You must be pleased with the way he's coming along at the moment as well.
Yeah, and it's not an easy thing to do. We play predominantly in the back line, and on occasions we shifted him forward. The few times he went forward, he was able to kick a goal. So, to be able to be versatile like that's really important to the side, and shows a bit of character for him too.
Tyler Martin as well, a young guy that's really stamped his name, I suppose, today with a few goals. You must be really pleased with him as well.
Yeah, he's only going to get better. He's quite raw. He's only played the game for a couple of years, coming from a soccer background, and he's got a lot of athleticism. He's got a beautiful left foot kick, and he's starting to be aggressive more in the air with his hands. And yeah, as I said, he's only going to keep getting better, so we'll keep assisting with him.
Leo Harrison looked to go with Reece Mott for most of the game today. I guess that was, you kind of identified Reece as being a real key player for Glenorchy.
Yeah, look, I've played a lot of footy with Motty and against him over the years, and I rate him very highly. He uses the footy very well. He's very smart in traffic, and we thought if we could nullify that, then it stops a lot of their play going forward. Leo absolutely blanketed him. He probably frustrated him a little bit, and that's credit to Leo that he was able to had the mindset to be able to do that for a whole game. It's not an easy thing to do, and he did it really well.
No Ray Hill and no Robbie McManus today either. Can you just run us through, I guess, those selections?
Robbie hurt his knee last week, so it was just a 1-week injury, so he should be back next week. Ray's form hasn't been up to scratch, and he was aware of that when we spoke to him on Thursday night, and to his credit, he went back today and had 24 possessions and kicked 4 goals. And to his credit too, there was five really good tackles in that game, so he'll certainly put his hand back up for next week.
Who else really impressed you today, and are there any injuries to report from today's game?
I think we come through cleared, touch wood, but I saw everyone walk off the ground. But no, I think we're injury-free. Nat and Phil in the midfield were outstanding again. I thought Josh McGuinness did a really good job on Jay Bowden. Jay got away from us a little bit early, kicked 3 or 4 quick goals. I thought Josh nullified him in the second half, which is, Josh is one of our key players, and to be able to sacrifice his game and play on one of their best players is a credit to him, and he did a really good job on him as well.
It goes without saying, not the result you wanted today, PK. What are your initial assessments after today's result?
I think you have to give a lot of credit to Lauderdale. They came out after half time and put a lot of heat on around the ball. They just worked really hard for each other. Whenever they won a contested footy, they had someone there to give it to. And we didn't mirror that work rate. I think it was one of those things in the first half where we probably didn't capitalise on our dominance at times, where we really had to play in our half a lot and got some great opportunities which we didn't capitalise on. They had some as well, but I felt going into half time, looking at all the numbers, we were well on top. They came out in that second half, and just as that third quarter wore on, we talked about it being a grind, and they really stuck at that grind. And their blokes around the ball, they got some really good talent around the ball, and some really good honest footballers around the ball too, and they were honest all day and worked hard all day. So I give them a lot of credit. And it's a lesson for our blokes. You know, they sort of knew exactly what happened after the game. They knew it really just came down to that work rate at the right time. And so we'll front up. We've got North Lonnie next week. The guys all have confidence in our ability to beat North Launceston, but we'll just have to be a lot better at the little things over 4:30-minute quarters than we were today.
You mentioned just before that a lot of the young guys in the team today that might be a bit of a trade-off, that potentially so many inexperienced players that maybe that work rate does drop off from time to time. Do you think that they'll be able to use this as a real learning experience heading forward?
Yeah, look, I hope so. I mean, I don't use that as an excuse because our players have shown what they're capable of, you know, whether it's the oldest player or the youngest player. And everyone out there today has played some good TSL football at times this year. So we certainly don't use those young players as an excuse. They're good enough to be on the field. As you said, though, hopefully it's good learning, and that's what it is for all of those guys every week. But we need them to learn quick. We've just got to be better than that. And while we want to promote youth, if you're not doing the job in terms of your work rate over 4 quarters, then we'll give someone else an opportunity.
You mentioned during the week that the bye probably came at a good time to freshen up. Do you think there was anything to do with having the bye coming into today's game that might have affected that at all?
No, I don't think so, because our first half was good. And as I said before, just missed a lot of easy shots at goal. We forced a lot of turnovers in that first half. We did a good job of negating their ball movement and then counter-attacking off it. So we certainly came out sharp. The issue was after half-time, so I don't think you could put that down to the bye at all. I really, as I said, you give credit to Lauderdale for the way they went about it in the third quarter in particular. They really stood up. They showed that they're not a spent force this season, and they're a really good team around the ball.
Obviously, last time you played North Launceston, probably didn't get an insight into all of the players they have on the park. I'm sure you've seen a lot of them play since then, though. I guess what are some of the key things you'll be moving towards this week?
I often think, I've sort of thought playing against Lauderdale gives you good preparation for playing against North Launceston, and they've got big, hard bodies. They'll win the footy. They like to get in and put some pressure on your backs. Lauderdale today moved the ball really well across the line in that second half, and we knew that's what they were looking to do. They were really focused on that last week too. North Lonnie's a little different in the regard that they really want to go hard forward and test you out. So it's really about us applying pressure, and you saw too often today a Lauderdale player would get a handball receive and no one came at them. If you look at our film from earlier in the year and the game we won up at York Park, whenever opposition player got the ball, we had pressure coming at them. And there's no real secret about that. No matter how good a team is, it's difficult to play through intense pressure, and that's where we need to get back to.
Any injuries from today or this stage?
There was a couple of rolled ankles. I don't know how severe they were or whether they're just those sort of niggles. We'll know more by Tuesday.